My name, and I apologize for the camera person right now because I walk all over the place, is Ray Covino. I started working with the NRCS Natural Resource Conservation Service back in 2002, immediately after graduating college. I had a major in natural resources management and engineering with a strong ecology background. And I got a job at the NRCS immediately after actually, I had a job offer before I graduated, which is unheard of with this agency. So if anybody's still in school, study, get good grades. Trust me, it pays off. Got a job offer and actually got a position with the NRCS in my home county right when I graduated school, which was lucky for me because typically people have to actually move all over the country to advance in the government. I have not had to do so. I've actually born and raised Eastern Connecticut. I've got rocks in my veins. So 2002, 2006, I was a soil conservationist, which means basically I worked with private landowners, which is what I still do, to help improve and conserve natural resources. And that's still my job today. 2006, I took a position in Windsor, Connecticut, which is just down the road. And I worked there from 2006 to 2009 as district conservationist. And then in 2009, the DC job opened up in my home county. Couldn't resist. I applied for it, ended up getting it, and I've been there ever since. So, we're going to talk tonight about soil health. How many people are familiar with soil health in this group?
Little.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. So, soil health is sort of a new concept, but it's a new concept and a way of doing things the way we used to do things hundreds of years ago. Okay, so we've got a lot of material to cover and not too much time. So that's sort of the short introduction. In 2010, I attended a training with the Natural Resource Conservation Service on manure management. I do a lot of manure management. It was a week-long course on spreadsheets on moving poop around. Okay? You can imagine how boring this course was. On day 3, this guy comes up, Ray Archuleta. How many people have heard of Ray Archuleta? YouTube him. Ray Archuleta?
Ray Archuleta.
Okay, YouTube that. Trust me, he is like the prophet of soil health. He gets up there and he starts talking about this topic. He had 45 minutes. I was on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I call it my clarity and clear moment with the government. Because at that point I learned, all of a sudden, it's like, this is where my career is. This is where I'm going to be. This is what we have to do. So at the end of this talk, I'm hopeful to teach you guys a little bit how to read soil, how to read the landscape. And from now on, if you understand what we talk about today, you're going to be both pissed off and frustrated when you see the landscape and the state that it's in. Because once you learn how to read, you cannot unlearn how to read. And on April, actually, about 6 years ago now, I think it was April 19th, 2010, I learned how to read. And I haven't gone back. Okay? So, soil quality versus soil health. We used to call it soil quality. Ability to produce, ability to do this, whatever. So, let's say, I'm not even sure what this is called. Anybody know what this is called?
Podium.
Podium?
No, that's where babies get baptized.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about this. Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the shelf here. So, we used to call it soil quality. Okay, makes sense. Quality of soil, etc. But the issue with that is, mentally, if you want to improve the quality of something, like this table, whatever you want to call this, you have to disassemble it first, right? Take it apart, refinish it, re-weld it, rebuild it. And if you do everything in the right procedure, when you're done, it should have a higher quality than when you started. Okay? So let's say I'm going to take the health of something. So I grab Mark here, and I'm going to improve his health. If I put him on my table, and I disassemble him like I did the table here, and take him apart, and rebuild him, if I fire up that defib, when I'm done, will he have a higher health than when I started?
I hope so. You went through all the effort for what?
No, I'll probably be on the cover of CNN, and Mark's going to be dead.
Yeah, you have to tell.
You have to kill him first, right. So with soil health, we're starting to understand that it's an ecosystem. It's a living ecosystem. You can't disassemble and treat it like a table, like a car, or like a building. It's an ecosystem. You have to treat it like a living, not just an organism, but an ecosystem. Millions and millions of different species living together. Okay? So we define it as if you pass into the soil to function as a vital living ecosystem that sustains whatever we want it to sustain. Typically for me, since I work for the USDA, it's crop production, forestry, something that's going to produce something to benefit mankind.